Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters is right here. I am Mike Galetta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, alongside Brian, the Ranger Attard, to talk to you about another solid sports event that you're just going to love to talk about at the water cooler every freaking day. Today we're going to talk about who's more important to Philadelphia, Ben Simmons or Carson Wentz. Now, this is an interesting debate we had before the show started. So I'm going to kick it off by saying I think Carson Wentz is going to be more important to Philadelphia than Ben Simmons, even though, you know, I was thinking to myself, both these guys have so much hype, and I know they're first-round picks, and I know they're top picks in the league, and I know this is the nature of the beast, but these guys are going to have so much on their shoulders coming to Philadelphia. I mean, these guys want to win now. People get crazy, you know, that when they get first-round picks and things like that. I've heard Ben Simmons coming here already, oh, the Sixers are making the playoffs. Well, it's going to be a process. The same thing with Carson Wentz. It's going to be a process. But I just think that for what the Eagles gave up for Carson Wentz, if he falls flat or he doesn't do what he's expected, it's going to be a big setback for the Eagles.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. You know, Carson Wentz is going to play the marquee position for the marquee team in Philadelphia, playing the marquee sport in the country.
Yeah.
So, from that standpoint, you're going to get a lot more media attention. Really, you know, if Wentz were to be a bust, realistically, that's going to set the Eagles back a very, very long time.
Yep.
The Sixers aren't really building off of anything. I mean, again, they've been one of the bottom 5 teams in the league. Some of that by design, I totally get that part of it. But if Ben Simmons doesn't pan out, it's not like there weren't multiple lottery picks that were made before him.
Yep. I
mean, you could make the same case for an Okafor. I mean, so many guys that were picked high by that team with some longer-term goals in mind. But again, it's quarterback in the NFL. If it's one position you need in any sport, that's the one. And you know I'm a hockey guy. Goaltending is crucial. I know you agree. But that's the one position in sports, quarterback in football, that you need to have if you plan to be successful. So,
yeah, I think Carson Wentz is a smart guy. He can roll out of the pocket. He can throw the ball. I think he's going to be good for the Eagles. It's just going to be how much time can the Philadelphia fans wait for Carson Wentz. That's going to be the big issue. And with Ben Simmons, you know, good, solid player. Obviously, #1 pick in the draft, no doubt about that. Just that, is it the right fit for the Sixers? Because the Sixers are loaded with big men right now. Next year, I understand, is a guard-loaded draft, so that's fine. So you get your guard next year. You don't have to go out and trade for somebody this year. But I just got to wonder, is he going to be in a system where he's going to be in with some other big guys and he can play with? Can he play with them? Is he going to be able to play with Noel? Is he going to play with Okafor? You can't have 4 guys on the that are 6'9", 6'10" on the floor at one time. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Sixers do with him, but I just don't think it's going to work.
yeah, you know, if you think about it, you know, the Eagles can build their team around Carson Wentz. I think in some ways, you're fitting a round peg into a square hole with Ben Simmons, in that he really wasn't maybe the player you needed at the time.
The good fit here, yeah.
Right, and we talked a little bit about that between him and Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
What made more sense maybe for this team? I know you don't really necessarily draft for need, you draft the best player. I get that too.
Right.
They may have to make some roster changes just to fit Ben Simmons, whereas, you know, Wentz is going to be largely, you know, his success is pretty much on his shoulders, whereas Simmons has a little more around him that's going to affect which way he goes.
And don't misinterpret me. I'm not saying Ben Simmons is going to be a total flop. I think he's a good player. I think he's going to be a solid player.
I agree with that.
I just wonder if this is the right setup for him to come in and make a difference. Maybe next year is the big year because they'll have a front court to build around him and to really get this team together. But, you know, for me right now, Ben Simmons, Carson Wentz, I think the bigger failure will be if Carson Wentz falls on his face than Ben Simmons will. Because if Carson Wentz does, I mean, you think about it, Philly fans, you're going to have, if you win 5 or 6 games, just a sake argument, you win 5 or 6 games or 7 next year, you'll have a top 10 pick. That pick goes to Cleveland in the first round next year. So you don't even have a first round pick next year.
A lot of voodoo dolls out in Ohio.
Exactly. Yeah. Can they do it twice? Yeah. Can they do something twice in their life?
Hey, they're winning titles out there. You know?
Yeah, well, that's a whole other story with the whole LeBron hate. So I'm not even going to get into that right now because my blood pressure is nice and low right now. So
I'll keep the red light off.
Exactly. Keep the red light off because I throw it across the room and out the window. So anyway, my opinion is, like I said, Carson Wentz. I think you agree as well.
I completely agree.
Carson Wentz. And that's all the time we have for the Sports Box. Keep an eye out for some good stuff coming. Remember, make sure you subscribe before you leave the page because it's Sports Box, the only opinion that matters. It's right here. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you.
Don't forget to subscribe.